Hey everyone. So this morning I just wanted to talk about a few thoughts I had about community living. So I think that there's a funny conundrum uh, that observed in community living. And if you don't know what I mean by community living, well, it could mean living with a bunch of roommates too, I suppose, because anywhere where you have a lot of people living together, there is going to be developed some type of hierarchy or some type of government system, a way of keeping everything in check. You know what I'm saying? So, anyways, or also women's shelters are considered community living. It's just a nicer word that they use. Um, you know, to not have a stigma on things. So, anyways, what I experienced was where I live, on some floors, or maybe this can happen in an apartment building also, anywhere where there's like a lot of people and different floors and rooms. Some people are too hot and some people are too cold. So there's a problem with the heating or whatever. And so what I've noticed is with community living is that there is generally going to be a few people or one person or two or three that are always dissatisfied, and they voice their dissatisfaction out loud. Usually the most dissatisfied ones are also the loudest ones, the most outspoken ones. They're not afraid and they're not shy to let you know what all the problems are around here. Do you know what I mean? But coming from an empathic perspective, it's like, yeah, you see the problems, you see the issues, but you don't want to be so forthright and rude about it, because there's also a sense of empathy for the workers on the other side, for staff, for people who have to deal or fix these problems. So, and I feel like with people who have dealt with narcissistic abuse, it can be hard to voice your grievances. You might be hesitant to say a complaint. You know what I mean? To bring up an issue, but because you don't want to feel like you're a burden on top of those people who have to take care of those issues, because you're like, oh man, so and so is already loud and they're complaining, and or maybe maybe the people working are dealing with personal issues, and you're like, I don't want to add to their burden. But at the same time, if there is an issue that you're experiencing that requires attention that like you can't necessarily have the power to fix, but the people on the other side do, then it must be brought forth. It has to be. And you know how to do it, you know how to kindly do it, to bring your message forth, um, with sternness and with empathy and kindness. You know what I mean? For the people on the other side who have to deal with these issues. So, yeah, you are worthy to state your grievances. You're not a burden. And probably your grievance might be other people's grievances too. So, yeah, you have to do it, because what's the other choice? Is to completely remain quiet. I mean, I know we can't complain about everything, but like for instance, where I'm at, our room was getting quite cold. And so yeah, that is an issue that needs to be brought forth, it because it's tough to sleep and be in a very cold room. And if something's wrong with their furnace, that requires attention as soon as possible. So, but it's crazy when you see other people walking around like loud mouthing, like, oh, this is fucking crazy and da 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 da, you know, because they have that sense of entitlement is grandiose on some people, you know. But I was listening to the psychotherapist Jay Reed, and he says that, you know, there is such a thing as healthy entitlement, like this, right? Requesting something that is reasonable in the appropriate way, you know. And one last thing I was thinking about was that, you know how narcissists have targets? Well, I was thinking about how empathic people can have targets too, but in positive ways, you know, like, oh, who can I bless, or who can I say an encouraging word to, you know? But then I just thought the funny thing about that is that we might choose to give that encouraging word to the narcissist. Sometimes, you know, because I made a video before about giving compliments for survival to people we discern are unsafe, which are most likely the narcissist. But, you know, we also have discernment for people that are safe and, you know, who need a word of encouragement or something like that, you know. All right, everybody. Peace out.